Alright, welcome back to the Game Smash podcast. As always, I'm your host, William Liberty, and with me is...
Was Muhammad Yusuf.
And today we've got tons of stuff. Just tons of stuff to talk about. We've got the Hearthstone expansions with 132 new cards, new abilities, and all kinds of stuff. Changes to the rank system and a new jousting mode, all for Hearthstone. Street Fighter V beta starts and immediately stops. Street Fighter's Vega is announced. A vote for PlayStation Plus games is being announced. It's like a poll. Gamescom 2015. We've got Scalebound, Halo Wars 2, Rash coming to KI, Crackdown 3. We've got Star Wars ship fights, or whatever. Mirror's Edge Catalyst, and Dark Souls 3. So let's just jump into what we played this week. Just really quick, I just played more Valkyria Chronicles. I've been having fun with that game. I almost beat it.
Nice.
So I will probably wrap that up, and then I'll move on to some other RPG. Because I've been playing a bit of Dragon Age Inquisition, but I've been putting more hours into Chronicles. Yeah, so once I'm done that, I'll be jumping into Dragon Age and try and finish that. But what you been playing for Waz?
Well, I've been playing the first game that we're going to talk about today, Hearthstone, because this might come as a surprise, but I actually haven't been playing Hearthstone a lot of late. I literally didn't touch the game for the entire month of June, and for most of May and most of July. But when the expansion pack was announced, I was like, well, I guess it's time to get back into Hearthstone. So yeah. I started playing that. I built a new deck. I figured I'd try out a new deck because the class that I like playing, Shaman, I've been playing it for a very long time, so I was kind of bored. Plus, they're kind of shit right now. So I was like, to reduce the amount of frustration I'm going to deal with, let me just try something a little better. It's been a decent amount of fun. I mean, the last match I played really pissed me off. Just RNG bullshit, but overall it's fun. So yeah, I guess we can just segue from that into the expansion pack.
Yeah, the expansion pack
that's been announced. So it's going to be called the Grand Tournament, which completely threw me off because when they were like Grand Tournament announced, I thought they were having like
an actual tournament.
Yeah, but okay, so it's introduced two new mechanics. The first one is called Inspire. Inspire is that say a card says Inspire, give your other creatures +2/+2. It means that when you activate your hero power, it does that thing. So yeah, it's really cool. There's this other mechanic. It's not named, but it's called jousting. And what it is when you play a card, when a card. Let me use an example. Let me find a creature. Okay, so there's a card who has a death rattle.
Yeah.
That does. That its death rattle is when it dies. Oh my god. Sorry. Its death rattle is both players reveal a card from their decks, and if the card that the player's controller reveals costs higher than the card that the opponent reveals, then it does this thing.
Yeah, it takes an effect. Basically what it does is that you both reveal cards from their decks. If your card costs more than your opponent's, then you get to use the ability or whatnot. It's basically just like seeing who has the higher costing card.
So much. Yes, that's what I've been trying to say.
Well, yeah, I gotta save you, man. We only got so much time for this podcast. I'm just saying.
Oh my God.
But just my personal opinion on the cards that they've shown so far, they all look really cool, but man, is it gonna make for some really kind of stuff. I've seen cards where it's like, all right, it's a two cost card, you get a 3/2, and your mage's fireball hero power increases by 1. So instead of dealing 1 damage to anything, you can deal 2 damage to anything. And then I see other cards in the game where it's like, play this card and you can use your hero ability as many times as you want.
Yeah,
And it's
yeah,
like, oh god, there are going to be some insane combos. And like all the hero stuff I think is going to be cool. The stuff where it's like both players reveal a card, whoever's got the highest card, wins. That is going to be more RNG, so I'm less worried about that. But the hero stuff is really interesting, and I'm glad that they're bringing in new abilities and whatnot, because it's a really, like, it's sort of like what Magic did, is that over the time it just adds new abilities, and they don't, it's not like one big long explanation, it's just like inspire.
yeah, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, one thing though is that the joust mechanic, what it does is that it encourages playing slower decks. Because, for example, one deck that generates a lot of hate is the Face Hunter deck.
Mm-hmm.
Because the deck, it's pretty much a bunch of really cheap creatures and it just rushes you down, right?
Right.
But like with the joust mechanic, a deck like that will lose 90% of the time because it's most of its creatures cost less than 3 mana. Whereas a deck like Control Warrior, most of the creatures cost 5 mana and up, right? So if a Control Warrior plays a card that has joust, it's 9 out of 10 times it will beat the Face Hunter. So the joust mechanic does lean more towards slower, more expensive, as well slower decks. So it's going to be interesting to see what effects that has on the meta. So real quick before we move off, there's some other things that they revealed is that they're going to make some slight changes to the rank system. Now every because right now when you hit rank 20 in a season, it's when you hit rank 20 in a season, you all you do is you unlock a card back at the end of the season. But but now they're gonna add this thing where if you, depending on the highest rank that you hit, you unlock like you get a pack that has a golden card, some dust, the card back, and some other goodies, and it improves based on how high you hit. So if you hit like say rank 2, but then you could never just hit legend and you fell all the way down to rank 10, you still get a really good reward for hitting rank 2, even though you weren't at rank 2 at the end of the season. So I think that's gonna be cool, and it's gonna give me some other, because like in general one of the reasons why I stopped playing the game was because there was really not a whole lot to play for. So this gives me something to play for and something to look forward to at the end of the month. So yeah.
Well, like I said, the system that Hearthstone is set up where it's like, all right, we release like a $20 buy a bunch of cards, expansion, and then we release just a basic expansion where you can buy a separate different packs or whatnot.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a really good system because it's like it allows players that don't want to spend $20 on these other expansions can just get excited for Grand Tournament, but people who just want to spend $20 for a bunch of new cards, they can get excited for these type of expansions. So I think what it does is that it allows two different types of players to get stuff. So I enjoy that system, and I think it's really, really good. But speaking of systems that don't work very well, so the Street Fighter beta got announced, or not announced, it got set up, and like, all right, everyone join the beta, it'll be fun, and no one could join the beta, and it was broken as hell, and apparently almost no one on day one was able to actually log on and play. Like, it was a miracle if you could get into training mode, which I find hilarious.
It was pretty brutal. So the thing was that the beta was supposed to focus on improving the online infrastructure and stuff. And you only got into the beta if you pre-ordered the game. So my friend, he pre-orders the game, and then he's like, I should pre-order it too. And I was like, sure, I will, right?
Right.
Then the first day of the beta comes up, and I hadn't pre-ordered it yet, but I was planning on pre-ordering to get into the beta. And he's like that, he's sitting there on the mic, and he's just hitting the button, trying to get in, and it's not letting him get in. Second day, same shit. Third day, he isn't even online anymore, and I'm like, yep, definitely not pre-order it to get into this. So to give Capcom some credit,
Mm-hmm.
they're going to relaunch the beta at a later date when things are more stable and stuff. And it's so it's not like you got screwed. You pre-ordered the game to get into
Mm-hmm.
the beta, and then the beta was unplayable. They're going to launch a playable version of the beta sometime down the line. So it's all good. You're just gonna have to wait a little longer. But yeah, it was pretty hilarious when it was
Yeah.
happening.
I mean, like, to be fair, like, it's, like I said, it's better that this happened now, like, before the game has even
Yeah,
come out.
exactly.
And this is, like, it was meant to be a test. It was meant to be the test to see how the online infrastructure would work, and clearly there's something wrong with the online infrastructure.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
now they know that, and now they're going to try and fix it and re-release the beta so that they can at least have people attempt to play it.
yeah.
So I mean, like, it could have been a whole lot worse, but it is kind of hilarious that it launched and then it immediately stopped. So
Yeah, yeah. What's just real quick. What's funny about this is that because I always talk about how I feel like a lot of developers throw out the phrase beta without actually, because for example, Rainbow Six has a beta in September, right?
right.
Rainbow Six launches in October. That's not a beta, like because that's not a beta because no, there aren't going to be any changes made between the beta, the quote unquote beta, and when the game launches. Like it's just too close to launch, right?
Yeah.
This feels like an actual beta,
Hmm.
because when you're beta testing a game, you're beta testing a broken game, and you're supposed to be helping them find bugs and shit like that. So it is. I mean, it's unfortunate, but it is funny that this is one of the actual only this is one of the only actual betas we've
Hmm.
had in a very long time.
Yeah, because a lot
But
of them are just like, it's a month before release and the game is
yeah,
pretty much
uh,
in the can and done, and
yeah,
it's more meant for getting people more interested in the game
mhm,
than necessarily testing and fixing problems. Um,
exactly.
But it's interesting nonetheless. But hopefully, when they relaunch this, it does better. But more Street Fighter news. Vega got a brand new trailer. Old
Hmm.
Mask and Claw.
Yeah, yeah. So you want to take this first?
Sure. I thought it was pretty cool. I always liked Vega's mask and claw design, but I was like, when I saw his actual face, I was kind of like, no, no, put the mask back on. Put the mask back on. Okay, okay, we're good. We're good. We're good.
Really? You aren't intoxicated by his beauty?
His beauty, no. His beauty sucks. I want him to wear the dumb mask. That's what I want.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what I thought. I honestly, his move set was pretty cool from what I saw, but I was way more blown away from the last guy. I forget his name, but
Nakali.
Nakali, yeah. But still pretty cool, and he is a classic. But what are your thoughts on him so far?
He's interesting. What's this thing called? Apparently, first of all, he's gonna be because like the original Vega in every other version of Street Fighter has been a charge character, right? So you
Right.
you hold back to do his inputs,
Hmm.
right? So in this game, they've changed that. He's gonna be a motion character, like Ryu. So
Hmm.
like charge character. The reason why they make characters require charges is because their special moves are really good, right? So
Right.
to balance that out, they can't access their special moves like that. They have to
Hmm.
charge to do it. Like Guile's Sonic Boom, for example, it's the fastest, it has the quickest recovery of any projectile in the game. But then to trade that off, you have to charge to do it. You can't do it on command.
Right.
So making Vega a motion character naturally has people worried that he's going
Hmm.
to be completely broken. But Capcom have already said that what's this thing called? It's nothing's in stone. Like the game. I mean, it's still early, obviously.
Yeah.
Nothing's set in stone. They're gonna see how this plays out, and if he ends up that he's completely, he's batshit crazy, then they'll probably nerf him and turn him
Yeah.
back to a charge character or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
Overall, though, I share your sentiments. I wasn't very excited when they announced him, and I'm still not. First of all, I was hoping. I really want as few characters from Street Fighter 4 to make it into this game. because I put a lot of hours into Street Fighter 4, and I want to see like fresh faces. I want to see
Yeah.
Alex. I want to see Urian. I want to see Sodom. I want to see more Alpha characters and more Third Strike characters. So Vega, an ST character, and the Street Fighter 4 character, I really couldn't care less. One other thing of note is that because they used to have these little teasers at the end of the trailers.
Yeah.
Like the launch trailer teased Charlie, Charlie's trailer teased M Bison, Bison's trailer teased Nikali, I think. Vega's trailer didn't tease anyone at the end of it, so that was kind of disappointing too. So overall, Vega has been completely disappointing, I guess is my point.
All right, okay.
Yeah.
Well, here's hoping that we get some fresh faces for sure.
Yeah.
So next on our list, there's actually, interesting enough, Sony has kind of announced that they're going to do a vote for games that will make it onto PlayStation Plus. So it's sort of like a poll kind of thing that you can join. The interesting thing though is that only PlayStation Plus members can be part of this poll.
Yeah.
Yeah,
which makes sense.
Which makes sense because some people were kind of like annoyed. Oh, why can't I vote? And it's like, well, one, if anyone could vote, then we could have Xbox One people vote for like the worst game or something like that, or you know what I mean, like just trolls.
Yeah.
Like it's very as I'm known from watching polls crash and burn in various ways. This is a safe way to do it, I think.
But more importantly, these games are for PlayStation Plus.
Yeah.
Like so, these are instant game collection that we're voting for. So I mean, it only makes sense that everyone should vote for it. Everyone will be able to download it. Like if you don't have PlayStation Plus, then you won't be able to download any of these games anyway.
So exactly.
So yeah, but yeah, it's very interesting because like there's been a lot of negative there's been a lot of negative I don't want to say backlash, but like people haven't been impressed with the instant game collection ever since the PlayStation 4 launched because it's mostly been made up of indie games. There haven't been any, I mean, other than Infamous First Light, which is more like an expansion pack for Infamous, and in Injustice Gods Among Us, there really haven't been any like full-fledged AAA games released for the instant game collection.
Yeah, I guess so. Unless you want to count like Ground Zeroes, because Ground Zeroes is an indie, but exactly. But I wouldn't say it's like full-fledged either, because it's kind of like a short game.
Exactly. And then like Injustice Gods Among Us is a port of a PlayStation 3 game. So there hasn't been anything big. No Killzone yet. No, I mean, Knack is shit, but no Knack yet. No Infamous yet. So people have been asking for that. Hopefully with this means that at some point in the not too distant future, we're going to start seeing more AAA games on the instant game collection. For me, though, like it all depends on the kind of games we're going to be voting for.
Yeah, they're on the poll for sure. Because if it's just one giant list of indie games, then it's going to be like, well, at least I can kind of vote for what indie game I think is the most interesting. But if it's like clear, it will be interesting if it's like a couple indie games and there's one like bigger title, and it's like most of the votes might go for the bigger title because people want to get their money's worth, right?
Yeah.
Or make the, it's like if I want to do I want to get a $40 game for free, or do I want to get a $10 game for free? I'd rather get the $40 game for free, like just logistically. Yeah.
So it's gonna be the way it's implemented is going to go a long way to saying whether or not it's a success or not, because it's a nice idea, I'll give them that much, but they've had a lot of nice ideas that they implemented poorly, so only time will tell.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. But we'll move on straight away to the big one. Gamescom was happening. Yep, and we had a ton of games announced there, or trailers shown especially. So let's start with Scalebound. They showed off a Scalebound trailer, kind of Dante-esque dude with headphones running around with a dragon. And I was just kind of baffled because they still haven't explained why the hell he's got headphones, but the setting seems very fantasy-like.
Oh no, they did. They did.
Oh, they did.
He's from our world. Like he's a regular kid from our world that gets transported. They haven't told us how, but he gets
Oh, so he
transported
went
to a
back in time. Okay, gotcha,
yeah
gotcha, gotcha.
to
Okay.
a different world.
Um,
That's why he's all modern with
he's
the
all modern,
headphones and
like,
stuff.
yo, man, come on, you gotta have my back, Dragon.
Yeah,
Kind of
yeah.
like that.
The
Uh,
game. Okay, because I have a lot of good stuff to say about the games. Let me just get the bad stuff out first. That protagonist is goddamn annoying.
oh God,
Like,
like, I
like
would rather have Bayonetta for sure.
I would. I mean, like, at this point, Platinum Games, and by extension, the dudes that worked on Devil May Cry as well have a history of introducing annoying protagonists. Dante was annoying, Nero was annoying,
Hmm.
Bayonetta was annoying, and this guy is annoying. So I guess I shouldn't be
Bayonetta
surprised.
wasn't that annoying, like
But you see, that's
compared.
what Bayonetta wasn't that annoying.
I'm
She was
saying
still.
that. Well, I'm saying that out of all of their characters, I would rather have Bayonetta, like because she at least has some other like I don't know. But no, I see what you mean though. They're like clearly their writing quality is not one of their strong points.
No, no, no. But the gameplay actually looked really cool. It's very different from what they usually. Because I thought when I saw the original trailer, I thought it was gonna be like your fast-paced action game, but apparently it's an open world RPG. Um,
Yeah.
so the combat was a little slower than I was expecting it to be, but it's like I read they had a little they had a little article on IGN about it, and it was like you can you can't control the dragon directly anyway. Like you can tell it where you want it to attack, but in general, it's going to be you can't directly control it. At least
Mhm.
not at first. They said that as the game goes, because the main thing of the game is the relationship between the dude and the dragon, right? So
Right.
as the game goes on, there's stuff that you can't do that it'll let you do. Like for example, you eventually you're gonna be able to ride the dragons,
Yeah.
and maybe as the game goes on, you'll get deeper and deeper control of the dragon. But overall, it's really cool. You can customize the dragon. You can make it more. You can make it. You can make it more slow, heavier, slower, with more damage, or you can make it like a sleeker, faster dragon type thing, which is really cool. Which sounded really cool. You can also customize the character. You give him different weapons and stuff like that.
Mhm.
The characters are connected, so if the dragon dies, you die, and vice versa. Overall, though, it seems pretty cool. There's also a co-op element that
Mhm.
was a bit of a
That
surprise.
was a surprise. Yeah.
Yeah, although I think anyway, yeah. So they haven't gotten into the co-op yet, but I'm intrigued at the very least.
Mhm.
One funny, oh sorry, you haven't said how you feel about the game.
Well, I think it looks okay. Like, I'm not, like, blown away by all the action stuff that they've shown because, the thing about Bayonetta, was that the camera would be, like, close to the action and there'd be ridiculous, kind of scenarios. And that
Yeah,
always pulled me in. Whereas everything that they've shown in this so far, I've been like, this seems a little bit of a downgrade from that, just as far as like intense action. But
yeah.
but this is they've only shown a little bit, so obviously I could be wrong. Maybe there are going to be crazy action moments in this game as well. But I was definitely surprised about the co-op mechanic, so I might give this one the benefit of the doubt for now. But
Yeah,
yeah, so looks
but
okay.
yeah, but it
Oh.
isn't it isn't an action game though, so
No,
you
I
can't.
know, I know. I understand that. It's just like I don't. It'll be interesting to see how Platinum Games does with this type of
Yeah,
game because this is a different kind of genre, I
this is a
guess.
different genre
Yeah.
for them. Yeah, and the release we have a release window, holiday 2016. So
Hmm.
we at least know one of the games that Microsoft is going to be parading at E3, and eventually during the holiday of next year.
Oh,
Uh,
next year. Yeah, 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 for sure.
mhm. uh,
But yeah, and now let's move on to the next game. This game I was kind of like, really? They're making another one, Halo Wars 2.
Halo Wars 2.
And I'm
Yeah.
kind of like, okay, that's interesting. Now let me get this out of the way. I actually do like RTSs, but I wouldn't exactly call Halo Wars a really good RTS
No, no, it
because
wasn't.
it's like it has the biggest problem I have with certain types of RTSs And it's like my favorite RTSs are the ones in which you get to choose a lot of different types of races or groups of people. Like I love the Dawn of War series. I love the Age of Empire series. StarCraft is also pretty good as well. And most of them have like a bunch of different races you can choose from, whereas Halo Wars was like there are two, and that's it. And it's either humans or the aliens or the Covenant. Yeah. And I'm interested to see how this game goes on, like what else they show, because it's like if they change what they did in Halo Wars, or they make it better, then yeah, maybe. But honestly, it's always funny because it's like the demographic for Halo Wars is like all the Halo fans love shooters. They love playing the shooting in Halo. And I always found it baffling when they made Halo Wars, because it's like it's a genre that none of their general audience, or at least most of the general audience, is not going to be aware of, or probably not enjoy that much.
Well, I mean, I don't think that's really a fair assessment, because by that logic, people that love Mario, a platformer, would not love Mario Kart, a racing game. But
no, well, I'm saying like it's weird in the sense that it's like say like in the entire Halo history, like I can think like Halo 1 shooter, Halo 2 shooter, Halo 3 shooter, Halo 4. Like it's weird when they make this kind of game, and I could be wrong. Maybe there is a huge audience for this, and I mean,
it's a spin-off targeting a different audience.
Yeah, right? You know what? That is true. I can see that.
But like, I actually played the original Halo Wars. It was a fun game. I enjoyed it, but as an RTS, it was average. Because it suffered from. I mean, it's a console RTS.
Yeah.
Like that alone should explain what it suffered from.
Yeah, very, very quickly.
Yeah, but hopefully with this one, they're switching developers to the developers of the Total War games. I forget what they're called, but
Creative Assembly.
Sorry.
Creative Assembly.
Thank you very much. Yeah, so the Creative Assembly is working on this now, so it's going to be interesting to see how they handle that. One thing of note though is. I'm pretty sure that they're gonna have to switch. They're gonna have to switch the entire thing up, because the original Halo tried to be a traditional RTS, whereas there's this one game, very old game, End War. Well, not very old, maybe 9 years old. End War, that came out on the PS3 and the Xbox 360. It was a console RTS, but it switched things up a little bit to make the game work better on consoles. Well, not a little bit, actually, a lot. You didn't build bases, you captured bases. You started with a set number of units on the map, and then you sent them around to capture different command points and stuff like that. And then the command points allowed you to summon your more high-powered units. I mean, the game had its flaws. The races were too simple. There were 3 different quote-unquote races. It was America, Europe, and was America, Russia?
And it was America, Europe, and Russia, I think.
Yeah, so not really races, but
yeah.
And they were too similar though, because like one of the beautiful things about StarCraft is that the Protoss, the Terran, and the Zerg are completely different, right?
They play very, very different from each other.
Yeah. So if they go in a direction like End War, I can definitely see this being working very well on consoles. One funny thing to note though is that the original Halo was supposed to be an RTS.
Oh, really?
Yes, Halo was originally going to be an RTS, and then I guess midway through development, they figured that it would work better as an FPS, so they switched it up and they moved it to the Xbox. I mean, maybe it was because they got bought out by Microsoft that they switched it up. I can't remember the exact details, but I do know that Halo was supposed to be an RTS at first. So,
that's interesting.
It's going to be interesting to see. This is also coming out holiday 2016. So, Q3, Q4 2016.
It's going to be a while before this comes out.
Yeah. But I'm looking forward to seeing more of it, And good stuff, Microsoft. Good stuff.
Yeah. Interested at the very least. But something that I did not see coming, freaking Rash from Battletoads is making its way to Killer Instinct.
What? This is so awesome. I love crossovers like this. Like when they had the a Spartan in Dead or Alive 3. I love that. I don't know why. I don't know what it is about it, but I love it when companies cross their IPs between different games. So yeah, Rash is coming to Killer Instinct. He's playable right now, actually.
Yeah.
If you bought a rare replay or you bought any of the DLC for Killer Instinct, you can just download Rash and play him until like the first week of September, which is pretty cool. Apparently, he's completely broken right now. Like he's really cheap. He's really good, but this isn't his final form yet, right?
Yeah. So wait, no, this is something I was a little bit confused from what the trailer was saying. Is he like gonna just only be available for a limited time and then he's gonna be gone forever, or is he?
No. Because like the season 3 season pass starts in March of 2016, right?
Oh, okay, I see what you mean. Okay,
Yeah.
so basically he'll be coming back later, essentially.
He'll be coming back later. But yeah, it looks really cool. I mean, I love the trailer. The start of the trailer is all like NES, 16 bits, like with the music and stuff like that. And then he teleports in, and he looks like he looks straight out of Battletoads. He has like the transforming limbs and all that stuff. He's got like an air dash with his tongue. When he jumps up, he uses his tongue to pull him across the screen. He can swallow projectiles, which looks really interesting. I'm not entirely sure how it's gonna work yet. I tried to find like a some impressions of him, but like the few that I found didn't really get into that. But the trailer showed him swallowing Spinal's projectiles with his tongue. So I don't know. We'll see. His instinct mode has him summoning the infamous motorcycle from that very, very difficult stage.
Yeah.
He can turn into the wrecking ball, and it has like armor, so it goes through projectiles and stuff like that. Overall, he looks like a good bit of fun. And I remember at the end of season 2, I was worried that was going to be the end. So I'm excited to hear that it's going to be a season 3, and I'm looking forward to seeing the characters. They've already teased the second character that's going to be coming in season 3, Kim Woo.
Yep.
Who was one of the characters from Killer Instinct. She was more of an Asian-inspired type character. She used nunchucks, I believe, and she's gonna be the next character. So
cool stuff.
Good stuff. So yeah, look forward to that. Microsoft, man, they are not messing around. 2016, like right out the gates. They've got Recore coming in spring 2016. This is coming in March 2016. They aren't messing around.
No, they're putting their game face on, and they are definitely putting a lot of stuff out. And just obviously as the consoles get older and older, the actual libraries are going to get better and better no matter what. So
speaking of which, a game whose release window was revealed to be summer of 2016, Crackdown 3. Got an alpha demo at Gamescom, and the big reveal for this was that the city is completely destructible.
Yeah, like super destructible. Like friggin' every building, every little nook and cranny can pretty much be blown up.
Yeah. Now there is one caveat though, because it uses the cloud to do the processing. To let all of this be done, it's only destructible when you're playing online. If you're playing offline, there's like minimal destruction in the city, but you'll be able to level like entire buildings and shit like that.
Yeah.
Which is fine, leveling an entire city in an open world game seems impossible. So like the fact that you can do it but only online, I'm like, hey, I'll take it.
Yeah, that seems fair enough. Like especially since it's like I can see some insane like multiplayer stuff, like just jumping off a building as they're exploding and crumbling to pieces.
Oh my god! Don't even stop, Sandra.
Like it's gonna be fun. Like it definitely seems like a really, really fun game, and it looks like they made sure. Oh god, Crackdown 2 was a pile of shit. What?
I said feces.
Yeah. Just complete crap. Let's make sure. Let's fix Crackdown, make it good again. Yay, there we go. I mean, I always found it funny how people played Crackdown because it had the Halo 3 beta, and that was the main reason people bought it. Like, people didn't buy it for Crackdown, but then people were like, oh, this game's actually not bad,
Yeah.
And then they released 2, and it's like, oh, God. So
this game actually is bad.
It actually is bad. But I'm glad. Everything that they've shown with 3, I'm like, all right, I can get behind this. I think this is going to be pretty good when it comes out. So, but I'm glad that Crackdown is doing good.
Mm-hmm.
But now we gotta talk about some of the EA stuff that got announced. Star Wars ship battles. So a
Yes.
while ago, you and me were talking about how like I don't know how ships are going to be part of the game. Are there going to even be ship battles, right? And
Yeah.
yeah, they are actually totally in the game. It seems like they're their own little thing. It seems like they're still on world. Like they're just like there's gonna be specific. It seems like a specific mode where it's like, all right, protect the giant traveler ship or something like that. Things like that.
Yeah.
Which makes sense, and it seems like a fun little mode. And at the end, freaking the Millennium Falcon comes in, and Boba Fett's ship comes in, and yeah, no, it just looked really cool. But what did you think of it?
I thought it was okay. So just to clear some stuff up, ships are usable in the other modes.
Yes.
Um, you can still use ships in the other modes, but this mode is entirely dog fights. There we go.
Yeah.
100% dog fights, and it looks interesting. One really cool thing was that I was reading the impressions of someone that played it, and there was it sounded like there was a good bit of depth to it. Like the
Mm-hmm.
TIE fighter, for example, he was like it's got it's got a shield boost. It's got like a turbo boost. It's got a couple of different weapons, and then you can do this thing where you can shift your power. So say you're under fire, you can shift your power to your shields,
Right.
or to increase your survivability, or you can shift your power to your boost to get the hell out of dodge. Or if you have someone in your sight, you can shift your power to your weapons to shoot them down. And
Mm-hmm.
then there's going to be power ups that are hitting on the maps that it can either turn you into the Millennium Falcon or Boba Fett's ship. One thing that did make me sad though was that in general I don't care about the prequel. I don't care much for the prequel trilogy. So anyway, like that the prequel trilogies weren't going to be included.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't really care. But now that I've seen this squadron mode, it does kind of make me sad because like at the moment it seems like there's only gonna be two ships,
Mm-hmm.
two hero ships, the Millennium Falcon and Boba Fett ship, and it would have been a hell of a lot more if the prequel trilogy had been included. But whatever,
Yeah, yeah,
we'll
yeah.
see.
We'll see. There could possibly be more because there's a decent roster of ships from the original trilogy. But I
Touche.
do know what you mean, where it's like, oh man, like there were some actually kind of cool designs from the prequels, like far as
Yeah,
ship wise, especially.
yeah,
But
but
yeah, we'll see where that goes. But overall, I'm glad to see that ship fighting is still in this game because
yeah,
it was a thing I liked a lot from two.
yeah, and it looks exciting. The trailer
Mm-hmm.
looked really good, so I'm very excited.
Yep.
Yeah, good stuff.
Good
Yeah.
stuff. Good stuff. So
Mhm.
far, don't fuck it up.
Yeah, so far, right past it.
All right. Mirror's Edge Callus. It got a trailer this time. You
Some
know,
actual friggin' gameplay, EA,
yay.
finally. God damn it. Oh man. It looks amazing though. Like it looks really shiny. Oh my god.
Yeah, very shiny.
Like
The reflections off the windows were like really, really good and whatnot.
yeah, and that one scene when she jumps at the glass window and as she's about to hit it, you actually see her reflection coming through.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, hey, good stuff, good stuff.
Yeah.
But overall, it looks like it looks like a good bit of fun. Gun combat is completely gone, so I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
However, there's this one scene in the demo where she's escaping the building, and she's being shot out from all these directions, and she's not getting hit. And I'm like, well, that's kind of hard to believe, but
Well, I think it's kind of one of those things where it's like, maybe on harder difficulties, they would have to like actually slide underneath some sort of cover or try and
yeah,
zigzag.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. It's gonna be interesting to see how they balance this out because yeah, like usually in a game like this you'd have your own gun, you hide behind cover, you pop out and you shoot them, but now you're gonna have to figure out how to avoid them or like how to approach them without getting filled full of bullets.
Exactly. Like I felt like when I played Mirror's Edge, it was at its best when you were parkouring around and like like just kicking people and then just keep on moving, just kick the guard and just keep on moving. But
Yeah.
it shat the bed every time the game gave you a gun. So which wasn't that often, but when it did happen, it was like, this feels wrong. So I'm glad to see that they are focusing more on just sort of disarming the guards and just kind of jump kicking off of them to victory and stuff like that. So that
Yeah.
that looks cool. I'm glad that we got the gameplay trailer. I don't know. It was weird. I'll have to double check. I don't know if they have a different voice actor for Faith or not. I don't know.
I don't know either.
Yeah, I'd have to look up because that was something was like, is it the same voice actor? Because I don't know. I don't know. I know it's sort of like a weird thing that I always pick on. It's like when voice actors change from game to game. Like that always bothers me. Because I get used to the same. I get to used to a certain type of voice, and then when I get to the sequel and it's like a different voice, I'm like, why? But oh well, still good. Good stuff so far. Hopefully that game is stays good. Because yeah. And finally, the game that I'm super excited for, Dark Souls 3. Dark Souls 3 got a fancy gameplay trailer, and it looks good. It looks good. It seems like classic Dark Souls. Very medieval designs, dragons, and those boss designs that were in the trailer. I'm just like, they kill it in all of their games. They just kill it in the design.
Yeah, there's one moment from the trailer that was really funny. The dude he's like walking through this really dark cave, and then out of nowhere, this giant skull face just like pops out, and I'm like, well, if that was me, I just turned around and started walking the hell up out of that cave real quick.
Like, that's actually the one. Excuse me. That's the one thing I've noticed from this game that does make me really excited, is that it seems like the scale of the bosses are a lot bigger than they were in Dark Souls 2. Because I can't really, there were some really cool bosses in Dark Souls 2, but I don't think they were like super super large, like giant sized or anything like that. There weren't that many. So I'm glad to see that there's some really like epic like giant bosses that you're going to get to fight in this game, which is exactly what I want to see.
Yeah, it's it looked really good. The soundtrack was amazing too. So apparently the main dude, the dude that worked on what's this thing called? Because I forget his name, but he worked on Bloodborne.
Yeah, Miyazaki. Yeah.
Miyazaki. Yeah, he didn't work on Dark Souls 2.
Yeah, no, I know, and it showed.
Like, but he's back for 3.
So that's why I'm double excited for that. Because we talked about how it's like there's an A team for From Software and there's a B team, and a lot of the B team worked on Dark Souls 2, and the B team worked on the Chalice dungeons in Bloodborne, but the A team worked on the main game for Bloodborne, and you can kind of tell. Like it's not. I'm not saying that the B team stuff is bad. I'm just saying that the A team stuff is really, really good.
Okay.
Like that. Yeah. That's the only thing. Like it's just a minor nitpick, really. But yeah. Speaking of which, I gotta ask before we wrap things up. Did you get any farther in Bloodborne, or did that giant axe guy just pulverize you again?
Well, I got a little farther. I didn't bother with him. I walked past him. I got to that little bonfire with a bunch of dudes. I attracted all of them one by one, killed all of them, killed everything. I walked into a new area that I'd never been to before, and I got killed, and I got sent all the way back, and I was like, yep, I'm done. Yeah, so I really haven't played that game a whole lot. After that, I really didn't play the game a whole lot because I was just irritated. But I'll give it I do enjoy the combat.
It's rough. It's a hard game, and I feel like the main reason that I was able to do okay with playing Bloodborne is because I've practiced playing Dark Souls 1 and Dark Souls 2 enough to know the little things, to know the little strategies on how to take out enemies. Like kiting enemies in that game is so important. Like you don't want to just fight like 5 people at once. You want to fight them like one at a time, for sure.
Yeah. So overall, like I said, I do enjoy the combat. It's just like for me, it's not even hard. It's tedious, and I don't like. I don't like TDM, because like I said, the combat, like most of the enemies, I can kill them without even getting hit, right? But then to have to kill 20 in a row without getting hit, and then to now die on the 20th and have to kill all 20 again, I'm like, no, I'm good.
Fair enough. Well, we'll see. Maybe Dark Souls 3 will get you back in the game.
Yeah. I'll get, because I've heard a lot of people say that it takes some time. You gotta, it's like hitting. It takes working. You gotta break through the wall. And once you break through the wall, like the game opens up. So I'm gonna keep giving it. I'm gonna give it some more chances and stuff. But we'll see. All
right. Well, I think we're going to have to wrap it up here. So don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. And if you leave a comment in the comment section, we'll make sure to answer it in the next podcast. And as always, this was William Liberty and...
Fawaz Muhammad Yusuf.
And we'll see you guys next time. Take care.